Every once in a while, people ask me if I'm religious.
Weapons are part of my religion.
Alright, so it's no secret that Disney and Hasbro have had a partnership for a while now. It allowed them to completely dominate the Barbie space with Frozen dolls, and it gives us all of the ultra sweet Avengers tie-ins for Nerf blasters. But the speed at which the Mandalorian Gauntlet has been delivered is phenomenal to me. It means that this was well planned out in a long timeline, and it means I'm kind of a little bit jealous because I feel like some of the guys over at Hasbro had to have seen that ultra slick whistling bird scene before the rest of us. Kinda jealous. You know what I'm talking about.
Stand up.
And so while this rocket gauntlet is not made of Beskar steel, it is instead made of pure ABS plastic. It looks pretty good, and I like that it's a low enough profile that it should actually fit on the wrist quite nicely. Now, I think that it's pretty sweet. It comes in at a retail of 20 bucks, which you just kind of have to frame your mind for it when you consider that this is realistically probably going to be an underpowered Jolt. That's very expensive. When you compare it to things like the Spider-Man blasters where they're web shooters, I think that it starts to be very fair. And when you think about the fact that you have to pay the Disney tax, the Lucasfilms tax, and the Nerf tax just to get your hands on this, 20 bucks just ultimately isn't that bad. Now, I was a huge fan of the series. I devoured it week after week after week. Jinx, Pat, and I watched it together, and we had an absolute blast. And certainly, like, the armor, all of its features, all of its weaponry is a huge draw to the character itself. So let's go ahead and bust it out and see if it lives up to the hype. Now, with an age requirement of 5 and up, I don't have like the highest hopes that this is going to look great, but I do have some pretty small wrists. So we're going to go ahead and bust this out of its Disney prison here and see what we're working with. So we have a plastic, almost watch strap here that's going to hold this one onto the body. And then you do get, if you're a dart collector, you get some really sweet Mando Signet Elite darts here, which look to be just regular Elite darts, but like the Star Wars darts before them, they have the laser tips, the clear guys, and then this gauntlet itself has some built-in dart storage on the sides, which is nice. And then honestly, the paintwork on this is better than any Nerf blaster that we've been given recently. The paintwork is impeccable. We've got almost bluing up here at the barrel where it looks like it's been shot a few times. We have pseudo dry brushing in the form of paint and wear and tear here. I think that this is going to be pretty cool. So it looks like the Mando wears this one on his left side, if the box is to be believed. So we'll just go ahead and see if we can get it to fit properly on our wrists. So let's go ahead and thread this through like so, and then I imagine we're coming back over here, and luckily having small wrists is, for the first time in my life, a boon. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and tell you immediately that if you're a larger size Nerfer on any scale, I have very small wrists, and this barely fit my wrists. It's also just a remarkably uncomfortable strap, but that's what you get when you're making pseudo leather out of plastic. And then if you put it on according to the instructions properly, you have this funky rubber leather flap just kind of hanging off the side. I'm sure that there's a cleaner, nicer way to do that, and you could always replace it with the thong of your choice. But while there is a lock in this, at first you put a dart in. First you load the dart, then you push the barrel in, then you let the barrel come out, and then you push this button to fire. So if you pretend that there's a bunch of Imperials lurking around, and they're over there. All right, so you can kind of just smack it, which is definitely nice. We'll go ahead and throw this in, prime one more. We just hit Pat. We'll try again. Aim for the camera, really line it up, really dial it in, and yeah, all right. So I can tell you already that the FPS readings are going to be very low. We'll take it outside and we'll give you our final thoughts. All right, let's take our gauntlet and let's see if we put it over the crony. Oh, error 3. Oh boy, I can see already that this is going to be tremendous. We'll go ahead and throw a dart zone dart in. Guys, I think that this is such poor performance, the chronograph won't read it, which means that it's probably under. What does this one top out at? I think that it has to be under 30. I've definitely gotten readings of under 40 before, so let's try one more time. 33. Okay, so it's not great, guys. The old Gauntlet. Tilt to avoid jinx. Duplicate 33. So if nothing else, it is consistent. So that's the old Mandalorian blast Gauntlet, and it's not bad. It's definitely like, it's a for fun thing. I think that if you got it as like a souvenir at the park, then it would be honestly very affordable compared to a lot of Disney park souvenirs. And ultimately, they put more effort into the detail and the decoration on this tiny $20 blaster than they have on any flagship blaster for years now. So that's my primary takeaway. Is just an enthusiast of the whole space. Is like, guys, if you're willing to paint both sides for Disney, you should be willing to paint both sides for Nerf fans. That's my 10 cents. My 2 cents is free. As always, guys, much love. Nerf on, Drac out.